think the heat drives people crazy. Right now it's a quiet hour, but this morning I yelled outside the window because I'm working near the window, but I swore there was like a guy driving really fast, and I think it was after I was recording something, but it didn't record. But I don't think that would have been enough to get me to swear at somebody. So I think what happens was the heat is so prevalent today. It's the hottest of the year. So maybe that's the guy. That guy was driving the way he did. And then maybe because the way he's driving and then the heat on my end, even though I was actually kind of fine, maybe I felt, I don't know, maybe it riled me up in some way because of subconsciously not getting that record. But I was able to handle it easily, consciously. So I think maybe it was a reaction to maybe the fact that I'm trying to catch up to the franchise. Maybe that's it. Subconsciously I'm trying to get faster, but thankfully I've got the method down good. So I don't know, I guess it was maybe this pent up kind of thing in me. And then when that guy was driving the way he did, it was so, I don't know, the fact that I don't remember is a little bit interesting. It is a little interesting, but I don't remember. Maybe I was feeling a little giddy. Maybe I think it was the all that pent up energy from the franchise reeling us eyes and stuff, because it is in there. The demons are still in there. So, but usually I can find a trigger, like an actual trigger point. So I think maybe not being able to record must have subconsciously, not doing the recording kind of there must be not only a subconscious, I know there's a subconscious, maybe there's a triple subconscious, because I can feel it at all. Usually with the subconscious I can feel it. This was like a subconscious. Maybe the heat hit it. That might have been it. So what this means is there's a new factor I'm aware of, some kind of this is concerning. This is because usually I can control the triggers kind of. Well, I mean, I kind of can control them better now, but if there's like an unknown trigger out there, I'm concerned about that. That might be it in my past. If something triggers me that I'm not able to control, that's concerning. So I should be able. I'm supposed to be able to sense that though, because this morning after I couldn't record, I thought I recorded, I didn't, and I simply said, okay, paraphrasing, like speech class, I can easily record it again. I had one practice round, again paraphrasing, and but suddenly, I guess at some point after that, there's a guy driving really loud. I think it must have been really loud for me to say something, and there was some swearing involved on my part. I don't know. It was. Now this was before I figured out. I kind of figured out when I was waking up. So I was, in the bed, simply thinking about the whole plan, all the seasons I planned out. I had basically everything figured out. So maybe that's it. Maybe it must be some kind of giddiness. So I thought, okay, I have everything figured out. So I was feeling more, I think the word is more, as I said, more giddy, more free. So that might have, so it wasn't anything, triggering, well, nothing negative triggering. Actually, it was a positive trigger. Interesting. So this is a positive trigger, but as the Bible says, it's as many issues as I have with it. I didn't get this correct. You have to be, paraphrasing here, you don't be prideful, don't be, don't go extreme. The devil is around when you're at your highest. So I completely forgot about that because I basically was on a high of figuring everything out. So it maybe because it was around maybe noon, so the heat was maybe, but I didn't feel the heat affecting me really that much. It was regular the past 2 days, about 2 days. So I guess it was simply giddiness and positive dopamine. That must have been it. So pridefulness. So I have to be careful of that. So this is a complete reversal of usually how my condition is. Because usually I'm at usually some negative triggers that that are happening around me. But if I'm on the flip side now, the more information I'm getting, the more aware I'm getting, the more I'm nearly at 100%, the more powerful I feel. But I still have to focus and realize you can't go too far. You have to keep it in. You have to keep it in line. You have to keep it chill. So now I realize I've got to. There's a new trigger, and it's not a negative one. It's actually literally a positive one. Okay, so so I might have taken things a little too far this morning, swearing out. I mean, there's technically nothing necessarily wrong. I believe now for swearing. It depends on where, the tone, the situation, and all that. I think. I mean, they ban it in Muslim countries, and once I found that out, I was like, wow, they ban it in Muslim countries, and so. But still, I think there's an appropriate time to do it and not. And I think I got ahead of myself, not realizing it. And again, the heat might have played a factor. I don't know. I really can't tell. But today's the hottest day of the year. Anyway, besides that, I remember one of the main reasons I'm doing this video is I remember my technician Lisa, one of our technicians at the IT work. She had a daughter named Taylor, and I remember one day Lisa was in Chris's office. So my office is near the door, his is in the back. So it's about, and then there's the lobby in between. So it's about, I think it's about 20 feet from my door to his door. And Lisa's in there, and I think she's like yells at her daughter at one point, and then hits her, I guess. And then Taylor comes to my office and said, "My mommy hit me." And I said, "Were you good?" I said, "Were you good?" I said it seriously. She didn't say anything, and I think she might have been able to tell from my body language and tone that if she said she had been good and her mommy hit her, I would have basically taken care of Lisa. I would have talked to Lisa. I would have, not been happy, because I lived in a household where it was very abusive. So when it comes to children being abused, I really don't like it. When I was in my grandmother's house, I remember on the second floor, my aunts were there, Josie and Diane, and I remember this was when my mom and dad would take me to the mall or store. It was not a mall, or store, and they bought me this really loud UFO kind of toy with a bubble and stuff, and it lights up. It's like Charlie Rancher's kind of looking, and it was real loud. And I was playing with it or something upstairs, and I don't know, maybe mom didn't like that I was playing upstairs with it or something. I forgot. I was crying or something, and I was looking at Josie and Diane and asking them. Maybe not even asking, looking at them. Somehow I was like, what? Maybe I was small. I know I was maybe 7, 8, something, 6. And I'm looking at them, asking them something about. Actually, maybe I don't say anything, but from my body language, I said, "Why aren't you helping me?" And I was in my body language or something. I was looking at them, and they didn't do nothing. They were young too themselves, actually, kind of. They're much younger than my mom, but they were like, I would say maybe 19, 20 or something. Anyway, years afterwards, as an adult, I asked them, or when I was really close to 18, I asked them, why is my mom, why is she always angry or something to that, paraphrasing it. And they said, if your mom needs help her out. She's going through a lot or something, but she didn't say go a lot. She says, if your mom needs help her. I think the impression was that, mom has a lot of kids she has to take care of and something. They might not have said that, but they kind of on a kind of a download when they said it. They're kind of like a subtext kind of thing. She said it, kind of with her head held low, as if they didn't have enough power to do anything, but they wanted to let me know. So I can kind of understand that. I mean, we're family, so I can kind of understand that characteristic, the way they acted, because when I wouldn't tell about somebody, and I know that this, what the situation is, because I have more of my life experience and stuff, and the reality of the world. You can only do so much, because once you understand other people's perspective and stuff, so they understood my mom's perspective because they were adults, and I didn't know I was getting near to be adult, I guess. So very abusive. My mom would lock us in the basement at one point. And one time I snuck out, even before the basement thing, she hit me repeatedly on the head. I was maybe 3 or 4. I remember looking up at her and thinking, one day I'm going to be taller than you and I'm going to do the same exact thing to you or something. I remember saying that. I still remember the exact hallway in there. It was at the Double Trees apartments. Yeah, I remember that day. I'll never forget it. After that, I don't think she really hit us, but there was a lot of screaming and yelling, a lot of pent-up rage in her, a lot of gritting of the teeth. I remember telling the church when we were gotten down here that it seemed like she would explode, and one of the kids was like, made that kind of sound. But my dad was never really home, but he would push, as we got older, he would do the pushing thing. There was never spanking. Well, there's hitting because it's an Asian family, so my mom would repeatedly hit. I remember that time, but as for other repeats, I can't even recall her hitting us, simply locking us in the basement. And it was a long basement. You could fall down and die, but it was a nice playroom too, though. A lot of playroom stuff there. Ping pong table, all that. I mean, everything you could think of. Actually, that was afterwards. At that time, when we were young, before the ping pong table and all that, yeah, it was dangerous. So very verbally abusive, emotionally abusive. In the Asian culture, it's very abusive. So when it comes to, but I protected the 3 siblings. So when it comes to people abusing their children, I really, really do not like that. Because it can really screw up. Now I understand. I was at a comic book store. I think it was the one here near here. It's not a comic book store anymore. It's about like 3 or 2 miles away, 3 miles. And this gentleman came in here. His daughter, kind of reminded me of the little girl, the blonde one here that helped me with our dog, the nice couple. I was talking with the comic book owner. No, I was near the counter or something. I might not have said something, but I guess it looked almost like I was an employee. I think he might have thought I was an employee or something. Anyway, at one point the little girl goes away from the counter or something, and he kind of taps her bottom like a pad. It's not really like a hit, like a little pad, really fast. And the girl kind of jumps a little, but it wasn't hurt. It wasn't any abuse. It wasn't even abuse. It was kind of such a light pat. It's kind of really quick, and she simply stopped. So I didn't say anything because it didn't seem abusive. It seemed kind of regular, like nonchalant. It wasn't an abusive kind of hit. There are different kind of hits, and it wasn't an abusive one. It was kind of a respectful hit, kind of I don't know, like you would hit a puppy. I've never hit a puppy, but something that was like hitting your stuffed animal kind of thing. It was one of those quick ones, really light. But that was okay. That was okay. You can tell from the whole body language of everyone. You can let the group think, reading in the room. It was fine. It was fine, completely fine. Yeah. So after the Taylor incident, Taylor was fine. Lisa didn't do anything. No yelling at them. Taylor went back to mom. Was silent. Nothing. I saw her again. I think that was the second office. The third office, she came in one day. She was Pat was telling me that Taylor had been I don't know, she had passed notes to some boy or something. It was she was growing up now, and she's in a phase of maturity and stuff or something, and but she's okay. You know, she didn't say anything, but from her body language, she seems to be okay. And nothing, you know, she's okay, nothing bad or anything. And of course, Lisa, she's always, you know, when she has to come in the office, you know, I'm the one who has to. Chris is the one who's managing the technicians, but I'm the one who's giving out the accounting and stuff. But everyone knows I look out for them. That's the mindset of the whole company. We look out for each other. So, you know, I always confirm that my technicians are good, and they can't be abusive and they can't be bad. So if Lisa was out of line, I would put her, you know, in line, and I wouldn't let her do anything. But I've never actually had to do that. You know, I never saw her abuse, or actually not. I never saw her hit Taylor or any of, especially the two boys. There were two little boys she got afterwards. They were born or something, and you know, they. I mean, I can tell. You know, whenever she's coming in or something, she's. That's why I was surprised she actually hit Taylor, because I didn't even imagine it. But you know, if there's anything I'm sensing that's wrong, I would let people know. I wouldn't let them. You know, I'm not into letting people abuse children. Definitely not. So she seemed fine. Taylor was there. They told me, you know, the boys thing, and Pat mentioned it. You know, he's talking, you know, basically to the whole room kind of thing. I didn't talk directly to Taylor, and then Taylor at one point left, but that's the last time I saw her. The other time, all the other times was the two little boys coming, you know, to play and stuff. They saw my toys and stuff, and obviously they played. It was nice. One point I saw Lisa brought in her husband, and this is a mixed race couple, so Lisa's white and her husband is black, and it was nice to see him come in. He talked with Chris. They were talking with Chris, and it was good that they, you know, I finally got to see them, although I didn't directly meet them, because once the boy that one of the boys, the youngest one, I think it's the youngest one likes to play with my toys, so I saw him and I. You know, what's his name? I forgot his name, and, you know, and he went into our kitchen thing room to play or something. I ran in there to, you know, to talk to him to confirm that he's, you know, that the kids are okay and everything, while Lisa and her husband talked with Chris. So, you know, I confirmed the kids. I always confirm that, you know, the kids are okay. Usually I'm working, and then they'll come and play with the toys, so I say hi and stuff. So it had been a long time since I saw one of her children at that point, kind of longer than usual, I guess. So it was a real joyous occasion. So he ran into the kitchen, and I'm trying to remember exactly what happened. I think there was a toy or something in there or something. I think I'm trying to remember. I think it was there was a toy where my office is not in the lobby. It was somehow I think he ran into the. I'm trying to think. I think he ran into the kitchen or something, and I followed. I think that's what happened. I'm trying to remember. It was like, oh wow, and then, you know, because he ran past. I'm trying to think what's in the kitchen though, because we don't have toys. It's on my desk. Because usually they come to my desk. Those are all the toys. So I'm trying to think. What was it? Because I had to go to the lobby. Somehow I'm in the lobby, and the lobby's right behind my room. Somehow I had to run in there or something. So while he's there, I'm trying to remember who ran first. Was it me or the kid or something? Because I had to confirm. Okay, I mean, there's how do I say it? Because one time Chris actually yelled at the kid, and I didn't like it. I really not. He yelled at when Lisa had left the youngest one for us to take care of in the office, and you know, we were in the kitchen, and the kid went to Chris's desk, and Chris yelled at him go away or something, go there or something. And I kind of let it, I kind of didn't say anything because I know he and Lisa are really close. So I thought it was within within their family thing. But I did glare at him. I think when he did it, I did glare at him. I confirmed that the kid was okay, and then I put two chairs together so he could rest. And then when Lisa came back, she asked, I think the kid told her that he was resting or something. I don't think Chris said. And then you put two chairs together. She liked that idea. She liked it. I didn't say anything. And you put two chairs together like that. It was like you put two chairs together like it's a common kind of cool thing to do, right? And I said, oh yeah. So so that was good. What might have happened though was the kid at one point told Lisa that Chris had yelled at him, and then that's might have happened why the husband came in to talk to Chris. Something maybe put him in his place. But there's even a story between there. It can have an effect on kids. What happens is before that. So after the yelling thing, the two boys came in, and one of them had like a scratch on his arm. He was showing me it or something. It was the which one was it? It was the which one was it? It was the younger one had the scratch on him. No, I think that's right. No, which one had the scratch? I'm trying to think. Which one was it? Which one was it? Which one was it? It's important to know which one because it depends on which kid that Chris yelled at. I'm trying to remember. It was which one did I take care of? I'm gonna assume. Okay, I'm gonna assume the younger one showed me the scratch, and then I yelled at the other boy to come over here, because I know what scratches do. Because I scratched on my brother's face. Thankfully, it healed, but it was bad. It was really, really bad. I never gave myself for that. Now I have because my brother's a bastard and he lied and caused me to kind of some responsibility. He not being able to see my grandfather again or talk to him again fast as much as I wanted. Second time, thankfully I got to call him. I got one call, but I wanted to record it, but I didn't. But at least I remember, so I recorded me remembering that call. But I'm going to assume that the older one scratched the younger one. So I was taking care of the younger one before that. And so I told him, I yelled his name to come over here, and I showed him my scar. I said, see this? Scars never heal. Actually, I said, see this? And then I used my finger. I said, scars never heal. I think that's what I said. I said, scars. See this? Scars never heal. I think that's what I said. Yeah, and of course when I yelled his name, TK came over because he wanted to confirm everything was okay. So TK ran over and he said, I'm telling kids, scars never heal. Now the reality, yes, scars heal, but of course they heal depending on how badly it's scratched. But at the time, it's this kind of spiritual kind of thing, the way I was saying it. So if I had been more accurate, I would have. But I was going by emotion by that point. But I didn't tell it to them in a way that was mean or anything. It was simply very stern. And then that was it. And the boys went off to play. So, it's a good message. It's a good message. And then that's a couple of days after that. I think that's when the husband came in to talk to Chris. I believe from the body language, it seemed like that. So, and of course, when I saw the little boy, I was joyed because he's okay, confirmed he's okay, and I think that's what I'm trying to remember. Somehow we ran to the lobby. I was in the lobby. Ran to the lobby. So I was working my desk, and then trying to remember. think the boy naturally ran into the kitchen. He naturally ran into the kitchen, because as kids do, and then I simply followed, and then, oh wow, confirm he's okay. So yeah, so I brought that up because remembering about Taylor and what she was saying. Yeah, trying to remember it's, if I did the right thing by, saying, when I said, were you good? And, a couple of times, I think, when I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking, did I say the right thing? Did I do the right thing? I think the subtext is that if she had been good, if Taylor had been good, if she understood what it meant to be good, and that Lisa had hit her while she was good, I would have punched Lisa. I would have actually been physically confrontational, because it would remind me of what, my mother did. So I think Taylor understood that from my body language. I was like, were you good? And so the subtext would be, okay, if you were good and your mom hit you, I would basically level your mother. Level, as in punch the crap out of her, beat the crap out of her, and she wouldn't get up. That was the subtext. That's the, conveyed telepathy kind of way. So I was basically so pissed off, I guess, that, it was like, where you get, that's what I'm thinking. That's the impression I'm thinking I gave. Now, it's possible she thought, okay, when I said, were you good, it meant simply, were you behaving, and were you doing what your mother wanted? So, but I think she got the message, because the next time I saw her, she seemed okay, right? If she was like violent or something, and something construed out, something negative or something, then something bad would have come, and then I wouldn't have handled the situation correctly. Same thing with what happened with the two little boys. The little boys, from what Chris did, the boys learn, and one of them, I guess, the one that was yelled at, thought that violence was okay. They passively held it in. Everyone kind of does, and they react out. So I had to put him in his place, by saying scratches never heal, to confirm that, yeah, if somebody, even though there's a negative effect around you, basically, with subtext, don't let it take you to the extreme, kind of thing. Now, could I have handled it better after Chris, when Chris yelled at the kid? I'm trying to think. Because I did glare at him, but Chris didn't see me glare. I'm trying to think. The kid came over, and Chris, I'm trying to remember if Chris knew I glared at him. Because he's in the other room, so no, he would not have seen me glare at him. There would have been silence, so Chris would have picked up on it, but he can be really violent. But I did put Chris in his place, because Chris found out, I have a gun. So one day, him and Alan, somebody touched my car, and went out there. They were all smiling. Alan and Chris basically think, hey, what's this guy gonna do? We don't think he's got any, he's not. Well, they respected me, but they didn't respect me, right? And then when they saw me grab my gun, put it, wrap him around, because it was implied it was a gun. They didn't know what it was hidden, but it was so funny. I'm looking at them. I opened my trunk and put my strap on my gun and shoulder. It's like a tennis racket kind of thing. It's small, but anyway, I put it around my thing, on my shoulders, in the back, like a tennis racket kind of, but it's not a tennis racket, that holder. And I look back at them, and they're not smiling anymore. It was so funny. It was the funniest thing ever. Anyway, so it was near the edge of the Sonic. There's like a thing that you drop down to, right? So it's like about maybe 2 feet high. Anyway, I'm sitting at the edge, and there's that shelf you see at Sonic, right? Overhead, the hood, the shade thing. So anyway, I go under there, in front of the car, the ledge there, standing there, and I'm kind of looking over. And Chris comes up, looking low, his head kind of, because he's basically scared shit crapless at this point, and I say, black or white? He goes, white. I go, good, and I jump down. I jumped down ready for the hunt. I think at one point I called the cops. That's right, because on my hook on that thing, I've got a 911 thing. Doesn't need a plan or anything. Those are the one button red push. Big button, especially for 911. I called them on, because I couldn't find the guy. I looked around. Somebody touched my car, and cop came and in front of the office talking to him. He's a young guy. Cop said, they know me. They're used to me calling them, needing help. But the last time it was with the SWAT, or some kind of, not SWAT, it was a whole bunch of them getting D. This time though, I think because I've been calling, I don't know, maybe so much or some, not so much, but enough times where they didn't know that they didn't have to send so many people, so they sent one guy. I'm getting that impression. I know what you think. Why is every time I call they need 2 cops or 3 cops or 5 cops? It depends on the situation, but usually normal it's like 1 cop. Sometimes they have 2 cops, right? Sometimes some situations, right, and 1 backup, but I think they got used to me. The cops have gotten used to me calling and doing, all the cops know me. A lot of cops know me. So anyway, they sent one guy blonde, and he's questioning, about what happened and stuff, and I told him, and this guy came, touched my car, I jumped down, looking for him, coming. It was funny, Chris was kind of smiling as I'm saying, because the whole thing is, it's hilarious of what the whole situation was, even though he was scared at one point, or, knowing that, I have a lot more clout than he thought. He always respected me, but he didn't know I was, he knew that I could kick butt. He knew I was formidable. Everyone did. He didn't know how formidable is what. He never knew. I always have, I always have something up my sleeve. He didn't know what I had up my sleeve. It was always hidden. Then he knew, because when you touch my car, nobody touches my car. Not that way. So, the cop was kind of looking exasperated because he couldn't understand what I was saying, and Chris was smiling. Anyway, the cop left because the cop couldn't find the guy, and subconsciously I was a little, I don't even say disappointed. It was a realization that day that I realized the cops they really couldn't do as much as I was hoping. But it was a funny day. I wasn't disappointed. It was simply a new realization. So that was a funny day. But that's not even the end of the story. Eventually, now that Chris knows that, I'm more formidable than he knew. At one point, I asked him about the car in the second office. We were in the third office at this point, but there was a point in the second office where I told him, were you the one that kicked my car? Because somebody had kicked my car. This was another guy. And I had blamed, I had asked him. So here in the third office, at one point, it was only me, him, in the office, and I think it was Derek. Yeah, Derek's a cool guy. And, I asked Chris, hey, Chris, I gotta ask you something. And he came up to me. I'm trying to remember. He was standing up already. So Chris, I gotta ask you something. And he basically raised up his shoulders, kind of like ready to, kick butt, kind of thing, like ready to throw down. Basically, but his head was held low because he knows what I have, right? He knows I got a gun, so you don't screw with a gun. He knows what I can do. So he's like, his shoulders are getting like, getting ready to fight, but saying, I'm like, don't ask me what you're gonna ask. Don't do it. But he knows he can't screw with me because that's why it's held low. So he knows that I am the stronger individual. I'm the alpha, not him. I think before he thought we were both alphas, but when he knew that what I had, he knew that he was the beta now from then on. So he I go, okay, fine, go. I said, fine, go. And he goes to the kitchen, right? And Derek's there. He's all the way down the kitchen, about maybe a foot, 5 feet from the door that leads to the other room. What room is that? It was, I think it was the outside, called the garage. Yeah, the garage or whatever. The back place where the back end where we keep the supplies and stuff. The back room. But Derek was smiling. No, Derek. I forgot his name. It wasn't Derek. D is Derek. Okay, I call him Derek. Maybe it was Derek. I call him. Gosh, okay, I'll call him Derek. There's D and then there, Derek. But I'll call him Derek. Okay. And he's smiling there because he sees that I'm the one in control, you know. And Chris, I go, fine, go. And Chris leaves kind of with this, you know, with his head still kind of at a 45-degree angle. You know, not low, but like, you know, he's mad, but he knows he can't do anything. And he's kind of like, he simply goes, so he's kind of like all kind of stiff, but he's going because he knows I'm the one that's in control, and he's not. And he goes off, and Derek's smiling on this thing, knowing, you know, I'm the one that won. So the reason I bring that up is that, you know, all this time Chris has been, you know, trying to be a dick, right? He's trying to be a dick, but he has a lot of respect for me through all that. He's like a big brother, and he knows that I support him a lot. So that's why it's like a big brother, almost like co-brothers. But he always thinks I know what it was that was holding him back from him truly. I'd say for us to be truly us truly being complete buddy because what happened to D, so he didn't want what I had done to D to happen to him, because I had called the cops on D because I had been told that he had done something bad. So that was always a contingency, because I think D and him were like really tight. So basically that was the dark shadow that was holding on, and I only found out exactly what was holding on because he had revealed it talking to Alan's wife. So at that point, Chris was basically telling me that he was basically giving in and giving me telling me the whole situation by talking to her and having me knowing that I was listening. He's basically confessing. And that happened after that, what I told you with I told him fine, go, and a couple of days afterwards, so everything was revealed, the whole relationship revealed at that point, the dynamic. So there's always a karma effect. But you have to be careful with the way you behave, and there's this new trigger again with the positive trigger, so I might have gotten a little bit out of hand this morning, because I'm trying to think. There was no negative trigger this morning, so why did I swear out the window? I couldn't remember. So the only thing is, it must have been my pride. So I have to watch my pride even more, because it appears that the more knowledge I accumulate, the more responsibility I have to take on myself, because I can't let it. I can't let my hubris and my ego get in the way of what I have to do. So I'm gonna have to note that from now on. That is a good Bible quote. I could find the actual Bible quote, but I mean, the main message is there. When you are at your highest, that is when the devil is around. So that is when you are at the most vulnerable, actually, for the devil, which is ironic, isn't it? You're at your most high. I don't know, does that mean when you're at your most powerful? So when you're at your most powerful, that's also when you're at your most risk. That's very powerful stuff. I mean, does that mean you can ever let your guard down? Yeah, you can let your guard down sometimes, right? You can't always have your guard up, right? Can you do that? Not have your guard up? No, you can't have your guard up all the time. It'll be exhausting. So note that. So there's actual positive trigger. Positive trigger. I've been going through so many negative triggers in my life that I never even considered a positive trigger. So yeah. So I have to watch the hubris. Watch the maybe some. Usually in the past I would wear a cross. I do have a cross downstairs. I haven't opened yet. As many issues as I have with the Bible, it reminds me. So I might have to open that cross maybe tomorrow. I'll do an unboxing, record it. Because I think somehow these past couple of days, I think I've been losing touch of my humanity in some ways. Because I've been getting so powerful with the knowledge that it's actually gotten to my head a little bit. So I need to kind of pull back, and I need a reminder to be humble. The school I went to was East Elementary. It's hard to be humble when you're at East Elementary or something. So I need something, a symbol or something, to remind me to keep it chill. So I'll open the cross tomorrow as soon as possible. It should be tomorrow. And then I'll see about maybe there's something I can wear on myself that's portable, that reminds me. But I need something to remind me, because the demons are still in me. The demons are still there. They're still there from the dream. There's something. And then for this past couple of days, there's been 2 incidents. One in the garage. I blamed it on the Wi-Fi, basically Wi-Fi. It's always Wi-Fi. It's the EMF. And then today. So how does the EMF correlate with today? Let me think. Hubris, bias. Let me think. Well, story-wise, I mean, I'm working the story, trying to figure out how to stop the Wi-Fi. That's the heat. It's heat. Yeah, there's a little bit of heat. But what was it? I was saying it was my hubris and ego getting more power from the knowledge. So how is knowledge EMF? Everything's photons. So I guess you could say the text, all the knowledge, all the video. Could that be it? I'm trying to think. Because literally in the garage, I had the phone in my hand and I'm recording, so it's like, I'm not really concentrating on anything else. So there's an EMF of that. Maybe it was from the computer. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it was on the EMF. Maybe that's it, because I have Wi-Fi burns on my arm. So yeah, it could be that. So maybe that might be it. That could be it. The EMF. Ultimately, it's the EMF, the radio waves. Because the EMF is on the radio spectrum. So that must be it. I mean, that's a theory according to my franchise. The whole thing is EMF, with the goddess constant showing up constantly. Whether it's spiritual, as in a goddess, an actual goddess, or what, or the universe, I don't know yet. All I know is that number keeps showing up. So I must be on the right path, but I need to be mindful of to not get prideful. Yeah, I'm gonna need to wear something. I need to wear something to remind me. One of the things I could do is simply look at my palm on my hand. I still got the lead pencil. I don't think it actually has lead. It's called graphite, actually. That's a good question. Let me find out, why is it called leaded. Let's look here. Okay. Does lead pencil actually have lead in it? Do not activate pencil to actually contain the force of a non-toxic mineral called graphite. And the common name pencil is because of the historic association. That's a false word there. It's because of the historic association with a stylus made of lead in ancient Roman times. Okay, thank God. Goodness. I always thought there was lead in me. So it's non-toxic graphite, thank God. Anyway, this thing has been in me for years, ever since I was around 7 or 8. One time I tried to stab my brother, but I didn't want to stab him with the pencil end. I wanted to stab him with the the eraser end, and I ended up stabbing myself. So it's been in there for a long time. Maybe I could simply look at my palm, and that could remind me. That could do it. Hopefully that could do it. But I have to remember, because it's kind of invisible in some ways. I mean, you can still see it, but you gotta. It's not so contrasting there. I could simply, oh yeah. So maybe, I don't know, maybe a cross or something. Although I do have issues with the Bible, so I'll have to find something to wear or something. Because I need to, I can't, I gotta keep it chill. I gotta keep it, I need to keep it, it's not even chill, I don't have the word chill, I gotta keep it, yeah, chill, gotta keep it, yeah, chill sounds good. Maybe I'll wear some kind of like, I don't know, it looks like a freezer or something, I don't know. Some kind of icon freezer or something, I'll figure it out. Wait a minute, I know exactly what it is. Oh my gosh, I know exactly. I think I got it. I think I know exactly what it is. It's similar to what's on my handle icon. That could work. That might work. Yeah, that could work. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, that's it. So, yeah, got it. Yeah, the actual positive triggers now. So I gotta not let them. So negative triggers cause negativity, but it seems positive triggers can cause. How do I say that? It seems like I'm saying positive triggers will cause negative. No, trying. Negative triggers can cause bad things, correct? But I mean, the trigger was the car, right? The car, but I'm saying that it's triggered by my giddiness. But what is this? The EMF coming from? But there's also the trigger of the EMF from the computer. So, the computer Wi-Fi would be the negative trigger. The car would be a negative trigger. My giddiness, though, is a positive trigger. So, I think the positive trigger can lead to negative outcome if it is amplified to the point where, exactly, I think that's what I'm trying to say. Positive trigger leads to positive things, correct? They lead to positive things, but then it can be affected by negative triggers. And I think what happens is negative triggers can augment it, inflate it to the extremes. So where it turns into from positive to negative. I guess, does that make sense? Yeah, something along that lines. I'll figure it out more. I can be focused more on this as I'm thinking more about it as I go along with all this. So at this point, yeah. So anyway, there we go. Positive triggers, and don't let it go out of hand. Affected by negative triggers. Yeah. All right. Does that even make sense? I want to end out on a completely definite note here. Let's think. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I can't have these recordings too long because the Wi-Fi is kind of glitchy in some ways. So yeah. So we'll end there. All right.